So today we'll be talking about telemetrics by My Health Sentinel, and basically this product, my telemetrics, is a telehealth service, which means that it's a telehealth service that enables their customers' vital readings, their blood pressure, blood sugar to be remotely monitored by the doctor. Yeah, and this telehealth service, right, is catered mainly for people with chronic diseases, which means that they have diabetes, hypertension, yeah, and also this product telemetrics notifies the doctors immediately of any abnormalities by SMS or by email, yeah, and also telemetrics will be providing a range of health services such as like the blood pressure monitor, the blood sugar readings, and these products will help their patients and their customers lead a better, healthier life, because they are well informed of how unhealthy they are. Yeah. Okay, so the target audience for my Health Sentinel's telemetrics is the primary market will be firstly chronic patients, because they are the one that will be using the products, and next will be the caregivers, because if the chronic patients are too old to take care of themselves, the next people that will want to use the product is the caregivers, so it'll be safer for them. Yeah, and next, the secondary market will be doctors, because right now telemetric do not have the doctors, and we need to create awareness for the general public, so that when there's a demand for the product, doctors will want to have it in their clinics and hospitals as well. And next will be the wider population, which is everybody, because sooner or later in the future, everyone will want telemetrics as like something like their next handphone, because everyone wants to be right now society wants to be health conscious, and everyone wants to know how healthy they are.
So now I'll discuss the competitive advantage of telemetrics. So for now, telemetrics is the first commercial provider of the telehealth service. So it has not been used in Singapore yet. It also has provide convenience, as people can the health can be monitored from home. You don't have to go to the clinic for the doctor to tell you how healthy or unhealthy you are. So peace of mind of patient will be in peace, because they would know that someone is watching over them, over the health. Remote health monitoring that allows prevention, so you can detect your health problems very early, so you would not get worse at your condition. Enables timely emergency response time. Enhance user awareness and understanding of their health. Scalable and cost-effective model for large population. So people will able to reduce cost. For also hospitals can reduce cost through this telemetrics. So next, I will share overseas success with telehealth. In Canada, usage of telehealth increases by 35% annually. They improve access to needed care in rural areas. So the people far from the town areas, they could also receive health care. Saves patients time and money. So they will reduce traveling time, as well as hospitality time, money, but cost. Also in UK, in 2008 they had a campaign to test out the capability of telehealth. So they had about 6,000 patients involved in this campaign, and 230 GP general practitioners to test out this over a period of, I think, a few months. So after that campaign, they found out that the mortality rates decreased by 45%, accidents and emergency cases decreased by 50%, emergency admissions decreases by 20%. So they found out the benefits of telehealth are good. So in 2011 they also started another campaign to provide telehealth service to 3 million people over 5 years. The next slide. Okay, so next.
For challenges faced in telemetrics would be, as telemetrics is a new company and telemetrics is a new product for my health sentinel, and not many people are aware of the product, and so yeah, in that case a lot of people are also not confident of the product because it's new and not many people have tried the products. And there's also lack of support from the government in the cost of telemedicine products and services, as this product is still very new and there are still many new tests that need to be done to ensure that people will want to use the product. And currently people still doesn't see the need for this product, as they think that they can just go down to a polyclinic and look for their doctors, as some people they stay very near to a polyclinic, and so they think that they don't have the need to use the products. And there's also no demand for such products yet, so the hospitals and private clinics are not ready to sell it, as people would not want the products, as currently the telehealth is still not very popular.
For the brand positioning of telehealth, how it's different from other existing health products is in a way that it allows the patient to be literally checked at home, so like they don't need to go all the way to the hospital or clinics to get checked up. So another thing that differentiates the product from other existing health products are that it notifies the doctor if anything went wrong with the reading or any abnormality in the patient's health status. Also, another one is there's actually a mobile application for the doctor to actually access the program, like to see the patient's status on their mobile, such as iPhone or iPad or any other smartphones. So based on our research, our market research on the people surveyed, we have these results. 94.3% of the people surveyed are unaware of telehealth services, and 83.6% are willing to try. 79.7% are willing to pay $10 per month or more for this.
We eliminated the decision on social networking because good. Okay, so yeah, we going to collaborate with pharmacies, hospitals, and private clinics by talking to them, so that discussing what are the ways we can help them to improve their business, and also at the same time advertise telemetrics through them to the public. Okay, so the tools that we are going to use, as I explained earlier, advertising on TV and ads, bus stop ads, word of mouth through online and offline, both on forums and both through offline like personal word of mouth, and also personal selling, direct selling through talks in places like community centers. Okay, we go to the detail for TV advertisement. So for TV advertisement, basically we're going to place the ad something like this, as you can show, like, to demonstrate that this telemetric actually helps the patients to be able to become more active, which means that their conditions have improved and they can engage in many more vigorous activities rather than before, like sitting down. So the TV ad will be placing usually on the night time where caregivers are off work and have more time to more chances of doing a television. So will be probably between 9 to 10 p.m. in channel 5 and channel 8 for both English and Chinese targets. For the bus stop ads, we basically use the same bus stop as you have demonstrated. Okay, for this, we will place it at the bus stop.
The final one might want to use a different picture.
Yeah. yeah, so basically we're going to place this very at the start of the bus stop, and then the color choice we use is plain. It's not really to attract
Less than
people.
2 minutes left.
Okay, it's not really to attract people to see, but it's to attract the correct people to see. So that so it's like very straightforward.
Okay.
A medical care and a convenience, yeah. Thanks. Okay, for the flyers, we will be placing it in private clinics and hospitals. We have to discuss with them for the permission, and also pharmacies and the basic mailboxes. Healthcare forums, there's a few forums like sitesforum.com where people can search for specific target websites, and there will be people communicating and posting posts related to healthcare. So we will put it there, advertise there also. And for talks at community center, okay, for this direct study, so what we're going to do is we're going to collaborate with government also, as you explained earlier, and then to give talks to people who are willingly wants to go for the talk. And then through the talk, we tell them and educate them about the benefits of telehealth. And at the same time, at the end of the talk, we are going to encourage them to sign up for a free trial, which we hope that Telemetry can provide a free trial for about 3 months period for the customers to test. For video placement, TV ads will be, as I explained, will be on channel 8 and channel 5. For talks will be at hospital clinics and community centers upon permission. E-posters will be on healthcare forum. Emails upon subscription. This is basically, the email slide is for those that are already subscribed to telehealth. And for advertisement posters at bus stops, nearby clinics and places with majority of elderlies.
I'm just reiterating the campaign goes to how it will help Telemetrics gain awareness of HIV. Yeah, which is all the campaign goals that we went through earlier, and using these promotions with such advertising, word of mouth, and personal selling to promote it. Yeah, thank you for your attention.
Continue video. Okay, good. Okay, I have some feedback to give you actually quite a lot. I will go through it as fast as possible because very soon we will know that we will be running out of time. There's the next class coming.
Video.
No. So, okay, the intro, right? So remember the point very early on I did elaborate that when you all are talking about the introduction of the company, right? It's very important to frame it such that and assume that the client and the brand, they already know their brand very well. So if you just list down the generic information, right, you're only fulfilling the very basic requirement, but you're not maybe fulfilling the requirements of the presentation to the client in that aspect, because they need to hear it from an interesting angle, like one potential interesting angle you want to take, and maybe give although the client might already know, you should say that you understand that this product is a new revolution in the healthcare market, right? It's something new. It is neither a medical product nor is it a technology product separately. It's like a convergence of both products, right? So you can sell the case of like, we stand on the brink of a new opportunity, right? Because now you want to raise the stakes. Because if you just list to me the information, right, then it looks very brochure-like, right? And you know what happens to brochures, right? Brochures get thrown in the dustbin, right? And do you want your presentation to be thrown in the mental dustbin of the client? That's what is at stake here. So how the client will feedback to the lecturers is they will, after they will have their comments, and during our session where all the lecturers are gathered, they will discuss what they liked and what they thought went well for the presentation. And your task, actually your challenge, other than presenting to me, right, is to convince the rest of the audience, right, that the stakes are high. Because if at the beginning you don't set that the stakes are high, then it becomes very brochure, like flipping a brochure, right? Everything becomes expected. That's not good for your future presentation, which is why we're having this session now. Don't worry. Okay? So, other than saying the stakes are high, say, it's a revolution, it's the first time technology and medicine has come together for a new offering, because in the past they always come together, but it's more of remedying something that has already happened, right? When technology and science comes in for medicine, it's always to address something that is already wrong, right? Like a defect, a problem that needs to be fixed. Now, why is this a revolution? Now we are coming in before the problem occurs, and that is the thing that you might want to elaborate on. I think this goes the same for all groups. Maybe not for today, because I want to see how you all intended to present it, but for the future. Okay. When you're talking about the target audience, right? How you derive selected that as your target audience, you might want to show some supporting information. Even a casual search on Google or anywhere else, right, will find like number of dependents living in Singapore, number of caregivers or people living with the what, or about how is the business in the medical sector doing with regards to caregiving. That means you go and research all those companies that provide chronic patient care, right? Because normally families that have old sick grandmother at home, they still have to work, right? They can't always be there, right? Unless they have someone in the family that's already working and they are dedicated to staying at home. But increasingly now in Singapore, what happens is you outsource the caregiving, right? You hire a professional nurse, a maid that is trained in certain, I don't know what, things like this. So what you want to do is you want to paint a picture of that people can relate to, that your points in the presentation, right, it comes alive. Because if you just list down the points and you don't paint the audience some kind of context to frame it, right, then they are just reading your points per se from the slide, but the points, they don't feel anything for the point, right? So what you want to make them is you want to make them feel that these points are real. The reality, you want to put the reality in their face, that yes, it's true that we don't only target this target group demographic just because we think it's suitable, although it clearly is. We want to show you, why this trend has come about, right? What is the reason for this trend? Okay. So competitive advantage, right? So what you might want to do is you might also want to show live case examples of the consequences when people didn't have, when telemetrics didn't exist in the world, what happened, right? So now when telemetrics didn't exist in the world, that means what happened? You put articles like, people healthy. I think I said before, people like go for stand chart run. They thought that they're healthy, they have this in the world, they drop dead, right? They feature on Channel News Asia or some online website also. So you can go Yahoo News, Screencast, put inside. And this will give your assertion of the competitive advantages more credibility, right? Other than, remember in the presentation, the key thing is to sell credibility. You want to sell what you want to sell, but you need to back it up with some, either some statistics or even some very minimal visuals or some kind of research inside, okay? Also show like, like some medical article that says that most heart attack deaths occur because there's a lack of monitoring, right? Like it comes very sudden. Like you read a newspaper, like okay, make a joke. You can even make a joke. You can research which celebrity in Hollywood died suddenly on heart attack. No, even these celebrities, they are mortal too. They are not spared. The tribulation of death, right? Death comes to all men, no matter your status, right? Then the client will be, oh, interesting. Yeah. Michael Jackson died. He could have used telemetrics, right? So if Michael Jackson was made well known of telemetrics, we could still hear his songs and still trash him in the newspaper, right? Right, correct, so something like that. You'll still be entertained by him dangling the baby out the window. Right now, no more entertainment. The world has lost a great treasure. So things like that, right? Then make you want to put the sort of like lifestyle element to your presentation. Unless everything becomes very clinical, which is the danger for this client, right? So that every single class that's presented to me for their specific client, right, they all got a certain weakness. Every brand has a weakness. This brand's weakness is too clinical, is too brochure-like. So whatever you present, what will come across as reading from a brochure. That is the danger that you want to avoid, and which we will fine tune it in the weeks to come, okay? So when you were talking about the overseas examples, right up to this point, right, all the way from the intro up to the point where you were talking about overseas examples, of which you already wanted through your presentation, right? I think I have seen 0 visuals, right? I have seen 0 visuals to back up all the claims that you have listed out. So that is severely bad. So because you're taking PowerPoint literally, right, that the points already have power, right? But the points without any images have a lack of power. As in the power bar not full. So things like that. So right, when you're talking about overseas success, it's one thing to tell people and assume that they will believe what you say. It's another to show examples in overseas, like in Canada or wherever, whereby this has been successful. That even goes to become relevant for the points whereby say, in overseas they hold a campaign and things like that. I think in your e-learning week assignment, I mentioned like when you research for your competitive landscape, with regard to other countries where people have done the same kind of product or marketed it, it will be helpful to include visuals, right? So the purpose of the exercise was hopefully to help you include some visuals from there into your current presentation, okay? Challenges faced. So things like people not confident, or people unaware, right? Let me see. It's quite generic, right? Because you can misconstrue this statement in a lot of interpretations, right? Why do they not know? Do they choose not to know, as in they are afraid of medical information, or do they just not know in general? So we got to fine tune what do they not know and how has this become? Is it a lack of education? Do they not come into contact with doctors enough? Are their doctors not incentivized to advise this to them? You get what I mean? Remember I said at some point where the doctor's incentive might not be aligned with this revolutionary product, right? Because it might give them more work or downplay their consultancy fees. Okay? So when you talk about challenge phase, you need some kind of backup as well. Same for the earlier points. For brand positioning, when you're talking about the mobile application, right, or how telemetrics is used, right, other than displaying it in point form, you might want to show like the steps. So remember in some of my lectures or in some of the, remember I showed this video some time ago of this guy called John Maynard and how he presented his case, right? So he had theoretically what is actually very basic information. Things that are very lame, like brain strength decreases over time, right? But how did he present it? He first showed his personal story of how the simplicity has affected him, blah blah blah, right? Then he showed a graph to show that over time, indeed, brain strength decreases. Then he made some comment about it, now we're all young, we think that we'll always be cool, but sooner or later that goes down and that's depressing, which results in. So when you, for example, when you were talking about the app, right? I must see the journey from which I start using the app, all the way from when I get the app, when the doctor's using the app, what do they see? Maybe you can go and research on the screenshot and show maybe arrows well, from here they go to here. Then how does that in isolation where the doctor is relate to the overall picture of where the patient is, right? You could show something like doctor in his clinic here, they put the time, then patient in Jurong, then you draw the distance, these people are very far away. If the sick person always has to go back and forth, they are eroding their mental capacity and also their physical energy, and they have to incur other costs like transport or getting people to help them, right? So if you draw this kind of parallel of the usage of the app and the mechanics, how it works, then you are supporting your earlier points bit by bit, stack, right? What you do is you stack your case in the presentation. Okay, this is why you should believe, this is why, and now we show you this is why it is so important. So the audience and the client can actually visualize the full story in relation to where the patient is, right? Okay. So for the print ad, right? The print ad with the monitor, the stethoscope coming out to the old lady, right? I think that's very clean. It is quite well done, but I think it can afford to be improved. Because right now the lady just looks like she's waiting for something. She doesn't look like she's like, oh, a hand.
You want to change the angle, like take a real life image.
Correct. So not so easy, right? Yeah, so maybe you all need to actually stage it yourself or find a stock visual. I don't know how you're going to do it, but I know it's possible. So the thing that's very risky in pre-nets, right, is that the visual you execute the visual as in basic requirements, but you didn't push the visual further to convey the message, the emotion strong enough. Because right now I can tell that, you know, on an emotional scale of 0 to 10, what's your emotional scale when you look at the thing?
0.
Now it's more like a functional scale, right? Now it's see, internet, hand come and help you, that kind of thing, right? So you don't evoke emotion, and the thing we want to evoke from this ad is emotion, right? Because we want to evoke the emotion of help on the way before you actually need it, right? So you need to really convey that sense of emotion. Think of all the good ads you have seen. What kind of level of emotional feeling was provoked when you saw the ad, right? So you also need to address, maybe go down a few slides. See, okay, wait, go to handing out flyer healthcare forum. Here, I'm handing out flyer healthcare forum. Let's see the flyers. I think flyers. Okay. So down here very dangerous. Okay, this is a common mistake in all presentations, right? Which is we propose something and we assume that it will all go smooth sailing, right? We say, oh yeah, we're going to hand out flyers at the clinic and the pharmacies and hotel mailbox. But when you actually sit down and think about how it will happen in real life, right? Will the KK Hospital, SGH, and people at HDB Town Council welcome this with open arms? Right? Will they like, we are desperately waiting for you to hand us flyers and put your stack of flyers at our counter? I must think that, right? So if you present that, right, then you assume that the client has either great friends in all these places, or they have a budget to force feed these places to cooperate. So we can never, and that's the danger in all business, you can never assume the client currently has the power to execute what you're suggesting. If you propose something, right, you need to propose in a way that comes with a solution. Like if you're going to go to a private clinics and hospitals, what's the incentivization for both the audience to pick it up, and what is the incentivization for the vessel? It means the place you're going to distribute out the information and the collateral, right? What's the incentivization for these vessels to go with you on your journey, right? You need to incentivize them, because if you don't incentivize them, then this is what we call an idea that's non-executable. And what is the risk of ideas that are non-executable? They have no real value in the mind of the client, right? Because if the client thinks that in the tangible world, out of Ngee Poly, this really can't be done, and I don't see any solutions, then that is not good, right? Correct? Okay, where's the slide with the taglines? Wait, go back to the TVC first. So the TVC, right? Okay, let's talk about the good things first, right? So the mock-up looks, good. The visual selected looks humorous. The tagline, be able to have quality life is almost there. It can be tweaked further to show that, these people can play in their silver years, although they are old, right? And because they have the assurance that someone's watching their back. Who's watching their back? And the metrics, right? But what's the problem with this ad? This TV commercial, it is not a TV commercial. It looks like a print ad, right? Because there's only one visual. I think I know why there's only one visual, right? Because it's hard to create a full storyboard in time. So I cannot imagine if the deadline was last week, what I'll be seeing, right? So I am so grateful. I'm so grateful to myself that I postponed the deadline, right? So things like that. So yeah, I think that you have gone what I call halfway down the journey, but we really need to see more, right? Like either got to act it out, or some groups they act it and actually comes across pretty okay. It's better than only showing one slide, right? Correct. Let me see. And the thing about this campaign is that there's a potential to go the tele health route, as in all your visuals can be quite humorous, right? You can inject the kind of humor. Of course, not for maybe the earlier one of the hand out the monitor, but you can retweak that, and maybe your campaign strategy when you sell it to the client, say that health is a very serious, a very mundane, a very morbid thing. People do not think about like prevention of them going 6 feet under, right? They'll think about, oh, I'm having fun. So you want to sell to them that, yeah, you can have fun, but would you have fun better, with a better peace of mind, if you knew that your fun and your level of stress, your exertion while you're doing your fun activities is being monitored, thereby giving you more peace of mind, which thereby you can have more fun, correct? Dai. Quickly sit down. In my major job interviews when I went to work for the government client last time, right? I was there. I left the house 2 hours before
Still be doing.
the meeting. Yeah, it's good advice. 2 hours before the meeting, although I only take half an hour to go there, so there's like no acts of God will get in my way, right? Like hell no. Prevention for screws. So one thing you might also want to take note is you all have good ideas in isolation. Before you presented these ideas, you could have talked about what's your overall campaign theme. Remember I said the campaign big idea, right? You could have highlighted this our campaign big idea, and it will flow through to all your
Your healthcare, your
convenience. I know why it didn't come through, because this part you just spoke of it like it's any other slide, right? So that's so maybe now we know you need to retool this part of the presentation, right? Either you need some epic visual to show healthcare your convenience, or you need to pause and maybe because the danger I understand with all presentations is you've had an intimate knowledge of all your slides. You worked the night before, you're very confident, you've done all your slides in your mind. You know what you're going to present, and you already have the stuff there, right? But that's only 50% of the work. The other 50% of the work is during the presentation. You need to make sure that during the points whereby you have important information, right, the audience can absorb as well. Because the audience is also your classmates and also people who are grading and watching at the same time, right? So you need to maybe pause and say, and now we have come to maybe not this is very literal, but I say, and now we have come to an important bend in our presentation. And before we do what. Firstly, we like to support the main campaign team, and why does this campaign team work? Then now we'll go into all the details. Then you'll okay. So I see the book cover, and then now I see the chapters, right? So maybe that the reason why I didn't get it is because perhaps you were reading through all the slides as per normal, right? There wasn't any severe highlighting difference. No, don't worry, this is to be improved. That's the purpose of this presentation now, right? The personal selling, the community centers bit, let's go there. Community centers. So the same point as the flyers, right? What's the buy-in, what's the sell-in? Why should these people help you, right? So even you think about all those instances whereby you see Yu Yan Sang with Channel News Asia, free healthcare seminar. Is it really free, or you go there and they're selling you something, right? So it's free to the audience. But to Yu Yan Sang and MediaCorp, is it free? Is there some kind of money deal going on behind? Or is there some barter trade? How can this be? The thing about working in these places and with news organizations is that they want to, what do these organizations like to do? They want to appear like they are on the cutting edge of being caring to the community, right? So when you talk about this point, it's a good point. So don't waste a good point by letting it slide by not explaining how it can actually work in the real world, right? So you want to explain that, we're going to tie up with maybe community centers, but the potential for it to work is, as you know, community centers are always at the forefront of caring for their community or whatever, right? So how we will partner with this organization is to let the People's Association know that we have free screening, those free cancer screening, diabetes, whatever, and people come, but before they are screened, they need to sit for a talk. And before they sit for talk, what do they need to do? They need to fill out a form to give us their information. And what is this information? This information helps us to do marketing in the future. So we can follow up with these people in the future. Then the client will think, oh yeah. So I go through all this effort and then I still get data to collect for my future campaigns. Right? Then client will, oh yeah, I think it's good. Although it might be a bit troublesome, I think we could go with this suggestion. You know what I mean? Okay. The next okay, insurance. The part about, let me see, I have an idea that I just talk about. Let's go to the end. So there's promotional tools under personal selling. So personal selling, what other people engage in personal selling? Insurance agents, right? And what do insurance agents sell? Essentially, they sell protection, right? They sell the protection that you get financially when you eventually meet with a healthcare calamity, which has already happened, right? So people always think about the protection in the event a bad thing happens, but what's the other thing you can sell to work with insurance companies? So you can suggest to the client, you all can work with insurance companies to, inside the mail, you push a pamphlet inside at the same time. So maybe the thing will say like, you've already bought protection, now complete it with prevention or something like that, right? Something you've already had a protection but now complete it with prevention. Then after that the client will, so this one needs to be continued. So I advise you all I have more comments, but we'll really read to the detailed tutorial consultations as we go along. Okay, excellent. Thanks once again. Give yourself a clap. So the next group, you're up.